Well, how's everybody doing? Figured I'd give you guys a quick update. Yep, nothing's really happening. I've been cutting stuff and welding stuff. I used a gouging rod and cut that plate off and cut the front end off, re-welded it. The welds was not good looking at all, but got everything re-welded and looking pretty good. And the front end's straight. I'm thinking I might be able to use this steering rack if I put in a panhard bar. So I'm going to experiment with that after I get an engine in it and get the weight on it. That way it's centered and got the weight on it, and then I can put the panhard bar as it sits, you know, because it's not really going to be adjustable, because I'm probably just going to weld it in place. The only adjustment I'll have is, you know, I might drill a couple different holes like at an angle where I can move it and move it a 1/4 inch either way or something. I don't know. Probably just weld it on there and call it good enough. Yeah, so this looks just about like that. Now this transmission, the guy said it was good, but I don't know if I don't trust it. So I don't know. I really want a manual transmission in this thing, like real bad. I've always wanted one of these T-buckets. Yeah, I've always been into the ZZ Top cars, you know, old rods like that, and I've always just liked that type of old Roadsters and the old Model A's and the Model T's. I love that shit. Now I got one. I'd really like it to be a 5-speed. So another thing I'm thinking about is this don't weigh anything. Even with the body on it and the engine in it, it's not going to weigh, you know, that much. And that's a whole lot of engine that's in that black truck, and that's what I planned on putting on here. Big old blower sticking out of the hood, and you know, or sticking out of the front. I don't know, you'd be looking over the engine while you're driving it, so it'd just be awesome. But that's a lot of power for this little tiny thing. It's like putting that thing on a go-kart. So I really want to do that. I still might do that, but I am thinking about taking the 334 and that 5-speed out of the white S10 and putting in here, because that would be a sweet little engine for this thing. Just rebuilt it, real good, strong running engine. It'd be awesome in here. One thing I was worried about is, you know, clutch linkage and all that crap, and the master cylinder and the slave cylinder, and I couldn't really figure it out. So like, well, I'm just going to have to run an automatic, and if I use the engine out of the white truck, I'm going to have to buy a flex plate. If I use the engine out of the black truck, I won't. I already got everything I need. So it's like that, you know, too many things were steering me away from having a 5-speed in it. And then my grandpa came back from Tennessee today and my uncle and my grandpa gave me a little present. So I got a master cylinder and I got a couple of slave cylinders and some line and some reservoirs, and so yeah, so that happened. So now I'm rethinking everything I've been thinking about for the past couple days. Now I'm thinking, well, that would be very, very easy to make that setup work with that 5-speed I got, and have a manual transmission in here. So don't really know what the point of all this is. Right now I'm kind of up in the air on what I want to do with this thing. Like, front to back, the welds are not good, and regardless, I'm going to have to go through and re-weld everything. The wheelbase is not exactly straight and true either. It's a couple inches longer on one side than the other. The frame's not square. It's got a little twist in it. It wasn't welded up real good. It wasn't built real good, I don't think, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to cut at least, well, I need to cut that corner right there off of focus, you piece of crap. I need to cut that corner off of that tube right there. And I need to pull that tube back an inch. Or cut this tube and shorten it 1 inch somehow. But either way, I need 1 inch to come out of the side of this thing somehow, somewhere. I thought about, I mean, I can't just cut that and take 1 inch out of it, so I'll put everything in the bind, and it's both sides need to be freed up, and it needs to be re-welded straight. And yeah, that's just crap like that's irritating me real bad. So I'm thinking, okay, the frame right here is 1 inch longer from, well, I mean, it's 1 inch longer, so what if I cheated a little bit and just made sure the axle is nice and straight with the front axle, and who cares about the frame, you know? So I don't know. I've either got to cut the back half of this thing off and chop 1 inch out of that side and weld it all back together, or take it out of these radius arms, because the front axle is square with the frame. The back axle is not square with this frame. I don't know. I got this panhard bar I can adjust right here, and I got these 2 radius arms I can adjust on the back, and I got a set of radius arms I can adjust up here. I can take 1 inch or 2 out of it and I can make it square. It's just really bothering me that the frame's not right. I don't know. It probably is not going to matter, because all the body mounts are straight and all the body mounts for the bed are straight. The body's straight with the front of the truck, but the body underneath the back of the truck is not straight. I don't know how to explain this. I probably sound like an idiot, but all I know is I am fully aware how to use one of these and one of these. That square right there. I can use a square and I can use a tape measure, and I can measure this and show you how it's just not square, but I don't know. So this project's kind of going really slow, but everything on the front end's welded real nice and solid now. It's welded underneath and on the back side and on the outsides, and that plate's welded all the way around. So I'm going to add a gusset to this plate, but I need to get the radiator in here first and figure out where the radiator is going to be and where the headlight brackets go right here. But I would like to put a gusset, like a 1 inch piece, a 1 inch tall by 1/2 inch thick piece of steel right across the center of this thing, or even a 1 inch by 1 inch square piece. Or I'd like it to have a little bit of the arch to it to give it some support, but it's going to be in the way of everything. So I can't do that until I get the radiator in. I can't put the panhard bar until the engine's in. I can't put the engine in until the brakes are done. I can't do the brakes until I modify the brake pedal position in the cab and that bell crank set up, and I can't, yeah, and I can't change the transmission without unwelding the cross member. Somebody welded that solid instead of bolting it on. So yeah, I'm pretty much I'm running out of stuff to do real quick and running out of ideas. So that master cylinder needs to come off, and I need to put some other something on there for brakes, and yep, start from there, I guess. Get the brakes working, and then I don't know. I still got like a week's worth of cutting and welding and grinding to do. So yeah, because regardless, everything's got to be re-welded, because it's all bubblegum weld just like the front was. I mean, it's all pretty nasty looking. I mean, everything is about like that right there. Every damn thing on the truck. Yeah, it's not pretty to look at, and it's not strong, it's not safe. So this is probably, looking back at it, if it wasn't for that body sitting there, looking back at this deal, I wouldn't have done it. If I'd have looked over this thing a little bit better, if it wouldn't have been raining that day when I got it, I probably wouldn't have done it. But that body makes it all worth it. So I got to make this hunk of crap reliable so I can put that on it and be really awesome. So yeah, I don't know. There's your long boring video about nothing, and nothing cool happens. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or whatever, you know. I'm getting kind of discouraged right now. None of this shit's working right. So see you in the next one.